we're working on the on time concept if we can. And so,
Yes, I failed.
yeah, we'll call the meeting to order, and we'll ask Brother Smith if he'll lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Heavenly Father, we want to thank Thee for another wonderful day. Lord, be with the Wilson family during their time of sorrow. Just be with them. Place a helping hand on them. Lord, bless this group of people as we're here tonight to conduct the business for our county so it's equal, fair to every individual. Lord, bless the troops that are fighting for our rights, our current way of life, our freedom. Bless the people that need your help, the sick, the elderly, the ones that nearly need you, Lord. Place a helping hand on them. In thy name we pray. Amen.
All right. Thank you for that. Next item is approval of the agenda, and I believe we need to add forestry under other business, and we'll explain more about that. But that's been on projects before, so we just need to make a clarification about that. Is there anything else that needs to be added to the agenda? Okay, so a motion to approve it with the addition
Motion
of.
to approve.
All right. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now, what about approval? We got two different sets of minutes. The minutes from the June 24th, 25 regular Financial Management Committee meeting.
Move to approve. Second.
All right. Motion second. We're open for discussion or clarification. All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And then we had obviously the special call Financial Management Committee meeting just prior to the budget meeting, and that was on June the 26th.
Move to approve it.
Second.
Motion second. We're open for discussion, clarification there. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, any opposed? All right, public comment. Is there any item on the agenda tonight? Anybody publicly wants to make a comment before we move forward? Okay, I don't hear any or see any. We'll move on. New business, our standard report, solid waste, please.
We've been busy finishing our year-end reports and pulling old records for storage. This past year has gone by so quickly, and here we are starting again. Report on the used tire law changes that I went to a meeting on the 17th. And basically all that will be those that are commercial haulers for tires. The state is making them register so that they'll have an account number. So hopefully that will deter any of the ones that are pulling commercial tires being paid to pick up at one place to deliver actually to a recycling center, deter those that are just throwing them off on the side of the road. The Highway Patrol will have the authority to stop those trucks to make sure that they do have a registration number and a manifest. So they're hoping that that will curtail some of the tires that are getting thrown out across the state. We also went on a little trip to Giles County. It was basically just some of the counties to get together, but we did tour one of their recycling facilities, and they do have the incinerator toilets in their attendant buildings. And so when we do get new attendant buildings sometime in the future, we're hoping to put those toilets in. That will save us quite a bit of money. It's initially, they're saying right now that the grant money will cover those toilets. I think they run about $3,000 a piece, but our portable toilet service is pretty expensive. We've also been tracking the number of people coming into the convenience centers to recycle and dispose of trash. We were really interesting and surprising. Tollgate had 1503 come in, Unionville 1316, El Bethel was 2480, Ward Trace was 991, Bell Buck was 776, Deason was 1093, and Wheel 369, Normandy 661. And these numbers were per week. They will vary from week to week and season for holidays. But it was interesting to see how much traffic we do have on that. Mark, do you want to say anything more about the counter?
The information that we've got in it right there, we've done them about 1 week, then we turn around and done them again. Those numbers fluctuated anywhere between 100 to 175. So those numbers from week to week, there'll be a variable in there of 100 to 200 cars, depending on what is going on around, I guess, at the time or whatever. we are gonna put the, my highway traffic counter, we're gonna put it at El Bethel during the Christmas holidays. Cause I really want to see what that traffic number is, cause that center gets more traffic than any other center, almost by itself most times. So it's gonna be a very good informational part that we can do and use for future references on how we need to spend that budget, what we need to do to make it better and more efficient. I think it's gonna be good information for us.
Since our recycling equipment grant is completed and all the equipment is in place, we will be tracking additional recycled tonnage coming into the facilities to report to the state, and we have to track information for 5 years as part of that grant process. I want to thank John Carney for always keeping our solid waste page updated with new information. He has recently added a link to see the new recycled materials recycling guide. Several of the counties are trying to get the same information out to the public to make it easier for individuals to know what actually can go into the centers and how to actually dispose of it. South Central Tennessee Development District was providing information based on each county's ability to take certain items for recycling. And the Highway Department's new sign room recently found one of our old no littering signs and updated it with a colored version. And it will be attached to the 45-mile-an-hour speed limit signs that are going up across the county. It's scary, so hopefully they'll think twice about before they throw it out. But just kind of sit in front of you, maybe they will.
Is it bulletproof, Diane? Okay, it's
Follow
on the
way
count.
around. Maybe it'll stay there anyway.
It's bulletproof, but it's not bullet dent.
The quarterly and fiscal reports are attached. Recycling revenues for the quarter, just going to read the totals. There is a correction on the tons that should be 286.01 instead of 306. But the recycling revenues, $53,035.78. The money we saved from not going to the landfill with those recycled materials, $11,231.74. The June totals for recycling, $10,436.13, 93.67 tons. Our landfill cost for that month was $50,713.05 and 1,010.22 tons. And then for the fiscal year, landfill charges $466,658. Ton of money going out for our garbage. 11,758.94 tons. Recycle revenues, 150,363.42 and 1,065.20 tons for recycled material. Anyone have any questions?
I got a couple of them for you guys. Transfer station and the status or whatever, is that on hold? Or when are we going to aren't we going to be required to transition to some form of transfer station at some point?
That's what the hopes is. Once they get the transfer station built here, it will save us money to go there versus going all the way to Lewisburg on our fuel, truck costs, tire costs, and all. It should save us money.
But are we allowed to continue to go to the landfill ourselves
Yes.
till that time?
Yes.
Okay, because I thought they were talking about forcing us to a transfer station, whether Shelbyville had one or not.
Yeah. No. We can the way the contract was with ISWA, we can use the landfills until that transfer station is here. Then we have to notify the landfill that we won't be bringing our trash back over there. We'll be using that transfer station. The transfer station is still in process. They're waiting on city approvals where they can start construction to get that going. Mm-hmm. So it should be, if the city finally turned them loose and got happy with everything on that part, within 2 months, that transfer station should be in operation.
Right. And so we will pay a little bit more at the transfer station, but we expect to get it back on the back end by
Yes.
travel time and wear and tear and fuel and all the other components. Is that right?
Yeah. And that's why we budgeted the budget this year, is we put in that cost, so it's not gonna be a change to the budget whatsoever. In fact, we'll probably spend less in the budget, hopefully, if everything works good on fuel and things like that right there, because we're only gonna be driving at maximum, what do we come up with, Diane? 25 minutes, I think, from any transfer station to that, from any convenience center to that transfer station versus an hour and a half or 2 hours of fuel and cost for the truck. Hopefully we'll be able to see a little bit of a difference.
And wear and tear when you go into the landfill.
Yes, and it will help even, I think we've done a pretty good job of making the centers very efficient for the trash pickups and things like it right there, better than hopefully it was in the past, hopefully. But this will now make where our trucks can turn around in an hour, they can turn around and dump, instead of now it's taking them about 3 hours to make a turnaround from the center to the landfill. So it ought to help the operation of all our centers also.
Okay. And then the state is looking at regulation changes about landfills, right? So you guys are going to keep up with that.
Yes.
I'm struggling to
Yeah.
follow all of the components they're talking about, but nothing's been changed yet, correct?
No, it's still in discussion now, and I think the way all indications is, it looks like it could come back when they go back into session next year to try to bring it to the table. It doesn't look like it's got too much leverage behind it right now for people to want to jump on board with that, but I think the premise is basically behind the big landfill companies and the big solid waste companies is they're wanting to pull back regulations where the counties and cities they can still have a say, but they don't have the ultimate say of whether they want one in a community or not. If the need is there, it's basically going to be sort of pushed through by the state. The state will have that say so, what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So we want to watch that
Yes.
closely. And the Mayor's Association is tracking on that. I'm sure the highway, even though it might not be direct highway issue, but they're working with us, and the Commissioner Association certainly should be concerned about that as well. Okay. Any other issues for solid waste? All right. Thank you for that. HR, your report's in your pack. She wasn't able to be here tonight. And our archives folks are here.
We've continued to have pretty much business as usual for the archives, both for the current records, working on those, as well as helping our research patrons. We have been working with numerous Tennessee Achieves and other volunteers, so we're real pleased that they've been able to help us with a lot of data entry and indexing that we can find records more quickly. We have been working with the usual materials that we can dispose of by law. And as I said, these Tennessee Achieves are helping us folder and maintain newer records that we want to maintain permanently. So we call that foldering and doc prep and maintaining those things. We've had, this June, we had a tour of the East Side School children. It was always fun to have them come up to the courthouse and then on the courthouse square. And we enjoyed working with the kids and understanding the activity on the square and how it's so different from going all the way out to Walmart today. One of the things I was going to mention is that we were able to help a lady out in California. It's kind of a special project. She has lived many years in California. She didn't have any of her school materials left over. And so she was asking about her school grades, her school information and things. And she was in that transition time of between Bell Buckles Elementary and Junior High and Cascade. And she greatly admired Mr. Skelton out there at Cascade. And so it reminds me, coming home from the state, that of what you can do when you know people. And so you call out to Cascade, and they were there, and they in turn called Mr. Skelton, and Mr. Skelton in turn called her. And she just called back and was just greatly appreciative of getting to talk to Mr. Skelton. So I think that just reminds me of the records we have. We help people, and we help people connect when we can, and we know everything's safe. we've had a couple of really wonderful tours this month as well. We've helped people come back from Atlanta and from Michigan, and they don't know where to look for things, and so we've been able to help them with guiding them into the right place all across the county. And as I said, they've come from all over to visit again. So those are always the real interesting projects that we get to help with. Any questions?
Thank you for that. Two things for people's reference. I mean, we do get the opportunity to interface with the public and look for records for them, but that is not your primary role. You are preserving records and
Correct.
cataloging and making sure
Absolutely.
that we're in compliance. So
Every-
that's your in between times. That's
Yes.
not your only time. So
Correct. Absolutely. We use the permanent records to help those folks, and that is always by law and by the special funds that we have to take care of those records. We brought back records from the Justice Center already, and we're getting them better organized just recently for the tax assessor, and we were able to help her as well find some older records that she needed reference for. So that has always been our main goal, is to help each department of the records we maintain.
and you can seal my school records if you'd like.
Okay.
Yeah. So
I can tell you what.
yeah, that's
You know where they are.
yeah. Okay. All right. Any other questions for her? Thank you for that report. Up next is our owner's rep. I believe is you've got some information in your packet, and he's here, so he's making his way up.
So we started breaking out the report into two reports, Bedford County projects and the school projects. Go through the county projects. The surplus building and juvenile center contract has been given to Mr. Daniels for his blessing and signature. Contract is $6,565,000 for both projects combined. We need to talk about the soil conservation office. We got a price to add the additional half bath of $8,880.65. Sammy's here to talk about that. We want to talk about that now, or
Well, I had that as the forestry that I added, but if there's no objection, we can just marry them together while he's up here, or we can make him come back up.
Let's do it under
Under old-
business.
All right, we'll come back
We'll
to
need a
that.
motion.
Yeah.
Health Department roof started today. All material was delivered along with the HVAC units, and that work will begin in the morning at 6:30. EMA management, we have plans back from the engineer. We will not have to cut the concrete floor for carrying the weight and installing the existing generator, and we hope to start that work next month. Archives building roof material was delivered today. That roof will start tomorrow. If it will finally quit raining. Still working on the gun range. Under school projects, we hope to have answers on a court date at the end of this month on the Cascade floor. Concessions are completed. Press box is completed. Lighting is completed. All training has been done on the lighting. Community middle school, elementary school roof is completed. We have completed the concession except for the stainless steel tops. And power is turned on that building. And Amy is doing the final this week on that building. We have the concrete poured and the bleachers are installed. I'm meeting with the new baseball coach this Thursday about the press box. We have money set aside from the savings on the concession stand to do the press box that was removed as part of the old concession. Liberty School is complete. Teachers have moved in. We took the 2 additional classrooms out of the agreement with OLG, and to save money, we're completing those ourselves. Painting is completed. Flooring goes in on the 28th. Daniel and Sam are hanging up the boards for us this week. So that project will be completed along with the 2 additional classrooms because of the growth in the school. Thomas is complete. Ag buildings at community. Pad is built. We had our first proof row completed and approved by the third-party engineer. Cascade site prep started today. The sewer in front of Cascade Elementary that was approved last week at the school board meeting, we removed the trees today. We will start installing new sewer at the end of this week. The water pump repair has been completed and taken over by Bell Buckle, and we did not have any charges for the water use for the last 4 years. Shelbyville High School turf is being installed as we speak. That lighting is on the football field. The poles and lights are installed at the soccer field. Those lights should be completed before the end of the month, and then we'll move directly over to the baseball field and softball field. Vestibules, we should have fire marshal approval in the next 8 days. TCAP building is being reviewed by Dr. Garrett and the board. We have schematic drawings from KSA. And we talked about the new sewer line going in at Cascade Elementary. At Cartwright's 1 year walkthrough was done in June. We didn't do any work in June because kids were still in the school. We started that in July. We did that walkthrough today, and we're down to just a few items that should be completed this week. BSLA roof is about 70% completed, and if it will quit raining, we'll finish it by Saturday. That's all we got.
Okay. Yeah, please do.
Oh, Jeff, go back to the gun range. Is it because it's not big enough in the layout?
So we don't have the depth required
Okay.
because we have to have a buffer zone on the end of it. And so we had the ballistics testing done, the sheriff's department did. We don't have the depth from the building to the road. They were under the understanding that road could be moved. We cannot move that road. That's a delivery road, and our property ownership behind that site is, we don't own it.
Mhm.
So we are trying to figure out a new design to keep it within 30 yards. Right now, they want 45 yards. So that's what we're waiting on, for them to come back to us that says TSA will approve a gun range at that depth for qualifying. That's the big issue right now, is they have to shoot a certain distance to qualify.
And I was talking on the side, but did you mention or update about the Cascade High School floor?
Yes. So we were fixing to have court date set, and the defendant's attorney had a heart attack and passed away at a young age. So we gave them an additional 60 days to get a new attorney caught up inside their office. So that time has elapsed, and Attorney Bobo's been sending out, we've been getting letters back and forth. Dr. Garrett's been included on all that information. So we're trying to set a court date. Once we sent that letter out, we got a letter back from one of the attorneys wanting to talk about mediation, which is what we expected.
Right. And we expect the fix to be how much money?
I mean, time is the enemy right now because of cost, but it's probably going to be in excess of $2 million.
Right. Worth of floor that's going to have to be readdressed.
The floor will have to be taken up, sandblasted. Everything will have to be covered. Everything has to be moved out. It'll take us 2 summers to do it. So we'll do one wing one summer and another wing, and then put a new adhesive that takes high moisture content, which they make, which is about double what normal glue is, and then install new floor, new vinyl base, new paint, and then move everything back in.
Right. Okay. Any other questions for him? Don't go too far away because we may get you back up. I may can explain the other one, but don't be too far away. All right. Thank you.
Yep.
Next is our monthly reports.
You have a copy of your monthly report, and I just want to go over some of the highlights. On page 1, you look at our revenues for the county general fund. We collected 96% of the budget, almost 97%. As far as expenditures, we only expended 80% of the budget, so that's to the good. That difference will go to fund balance. Drug Control Fund, we had a 567% increase or percent of the budget, and that's because they collected a bunch of drug fines that we normally don't see. And then they only expended 32% of the budget, which was $660. Not a lot of money on that side. On the road department, we collected 93% of the budget, and we expended 89% of the budget. Just rounding. Schools, we collected 98% of the budget, almost 99, and expended 89. And then on federal projects, we collected 96% and we expended 96% because that's a wash. It's just in and out. Child nutrition, we collected 96% of the budget, expended 93. And then on school age care, we collected 76% of the budget and we expended 96% of the budget. So they had a shortfall in revenues, and the schools are addressing that now, and we will have an amended budget coming to you probably next month. The next one is the debt service fund. We collected 133% of what we anticipated and expended 94%. 94% is pretty close because basically that most of that's just debt payments. There are some other things like trustees commissions and things like that that vary. Capital projects, we collected 100% of what we budgeted and expended 94%. And that's on the school capital project. On the county capital project, we collected 100% and we expended 42%. That will roll to the next year because that's part of our budget. Then you have an analysis of property tax collections, and I want to point out that this is comparing to last year at the same time. The collections from this year to last year is not what we budgeted. We actually budgeted part of this increase. We collected $759,000 more than the same time last year on property tax. Like I said, part of that was budgeted. Prior year collections, we collected $63,000 more than same time last year. Clerk and master collections, we collected $115,000 more than last year, and part of that is due to a tax sale. Sales tax collections are $1,646,000, 46 versus last year. A lot of that had been budgeted too. Mineral severance tax is $111,000 more than the same time last year, and we had a big increase in the last quarter. We collected $142,000 versus at $38,000 last year, and a lot of that's due to the Walmart distribution and all that rock they're hauling. So we saw the benefits of it this quarter.
And there's going to be an opportunity to adjust that mineral severance fee that's charged. It will take resolution by the county. Mark's office obviously is the primary lead on that and is the direct beneficiary of it.
Yes.
But we're expecting that you will be bringing some information forward in the months to come to look at adjusting that accordingly. Okay.
Now, your last report is basically some of the expenditures like travel. You can see there's in-service, utilities, electricity, natural gas, food supplies, gasoline, diesel, and legal services. And we are within budget because we had an amendment at the very end of the year, but this will give you an idea of how much we actually expended. That's my monthly report.
Okay, questions on the regular monthly report? All right. EMS has the report in your packet. He had a situation he wasn't going to be able to be here tonight. So do we need to move to approve those reports, all the reports? Okay, so we need a motion to accept the report.
Make a motion to accept the report.
All right, motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, and the next one's quarterly report, and it will need to go to the commission, correct?
Correct. And the quarterly report reflects the same information as the last monthly report. It's just summarized the quarter. And this one does go to.
Okay, so we need a motion to send this to the commission.
So move.
All right, motion second. Any questions, clarifications? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we're moving along here. All right, next is Board of Education surplus, and it's in your packet, and obviously would have went to the school board prior to showing up here for us. Does it go to the commission or just here? Yes, we just need a motion second to approve it at the committee level.
Move to approve.
Second.
All right. We got all that. All right. Any other questions or comments? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. And so now under other business, we had added forestry. Forestry is one of the federal operations that or operates here, but they operate out of a soil conservation facility that we have, and we get reimbursement on both sides of that issue. There was an expansion that we had approved that was in with some other expansions that we were doing. It's come to light that we did not account for a small single half bath to be in that operating space, which the forestry will be paying rent or lease for. And so we need to do a change order in regards to that. And it's estimated that it'll be, as you heard him say, I'm going to say 9,000 just so that we're rounding our number. So tonight, if this body's comfortable with this, we will need to approve the change order, and then it will show up in the next budget amendment at the time. So it will ultimately go to the commission, but because it was not part of the original, it's a change order, and it involves new money or funds that may not would have been there otherwise. So we need this body to accept.
I make a motion that we accept it and move it forward.
All right, motion second. We're open for discussion about that. Again, understand it'll show up in the next budget amendment. Will be added there.
I hate that it didn't show, we didn't catch all this at the beginning, but, folks, we've got to accommodate the soil conservation and the forestry. And Tony will back me up on this. We cannot lose these two services in the county. We lost FSC, and so it's just one of those things, and we need to accommodate them.
Right. They bring money into the county.
Yes, they do.
They bring a lot of money into the county, and we need to do everything we can to keep this facility intact and moving forward.
Right, and they acknowledge it's an operational component for them because there is segregation between the two.
It's two separate.
In regards to that, even though it's in the same overall facility. So, and it would also cost significantly more later if you had to totally add that outside of the work that's being done. So it makes sense. We do change orders all the time, but I wanted to make sure everybody was clear about what we were doing because up to the 9,000 may need to be included in the future budget amendment. So as long as everybody understands that, I think we have the motion in a second. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we have identified the money to pay for it. You have the money to move from somewhere else?
We'll take it out of our capital project.
Okay.
Sorry, I'm glad you brought that up. Yes, right. Out of capital projects that we have for it's almost an incidental, but it again needs to be tracked, and so this will allow us to do that. Everybody understand what we're voting on? All in favor? Any opposed? All right. I don't think I had any other. What about announcements? Anybody got anything they want to say? Okay, hearing none, are we ready to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Thank you.